Welcome to the Buff Show on the American Adversaries Radio Network. Matt Buff, your host, glad to be with you. We are brought to you in conjunction with the American Adversaries radio program, which you can hear in Central Florida on 94.9 FM, AM 950, and that is Sunday through Friday. But now the Buff Show joins in there, so it's Sunday through Saturday, every day of the week on 94.9 FM.
Except 3 o'clock on Saturday.
3 o'clock on Saturday and 5 o'clock Eastern during the week. So that's going to be great. And we're joined by the philosopher and political mad scientist, Christopher Hart. Great to see you, my friend.
Good to be back with you, Matt, always. Really looking forward to your show, too.
Oh, it's going to be a lot of fun, and we look forward to everybody joining us at 3 o'clock and then joining the other shows during the week at 5 p.m.
And don't forget, they can watch the show live on our Facebook page, American Adversaries on Facebook, both during the week and on Saturday.
Yes, absolutely. And to get there easily, right, for the people that don't follow our shows at all, go to AmericanAdversaries.com. We've made a nice little banner there right at the top. Yep. You can click on this channel, the YouTube channel. Click on the Facebook link right there. It takes you right to it. We made it almost too easy, Chris.
It's so easy that I can do it.
That's right. All right. Well, we were talking in the last segment about the book Generations and about the 80-year surge, and it says
cycle.
And we're due in 2020 for something to happen.
Monumental.
But the problem is, it's been a slow news year, Chris. There's nothing happening.
Maybe something will happen between now and then.
I hope so. There's just nothing to talk about as far as crises in 2020.
Well, at the beginning of the year, as we were going into the impeachment hearings, I predicted that the impeachment hearings would not end with the president leaving office, but that also wouldn't end the process of trying to get him out of office, right? But I didn't know how bad. I said, and it was going to get bad. I said, get ready, ladies and gentlemen, it's going to get nasty this year. And boy, has it ever gotten nasty. I didn't know how. And boy, was I naive, because I thought it would be all political nastiness, right? I didn't know it would be a pandemic. And now rioting and looting in the streets all across America.
I got a correction. I call it a plandemic, but go ahead.
Or some people call it a dim panic.
Yes.
But we'll talk a little bit about that later on. But the book Generations, once again, is based on a theory that every 80 years, in particular in American history, we've had a monumental crisis that has led to big changes economically and socially. And these authors, and the book was published in 1991, and the authors William Strauss and Neil Howe predicted the crisis of 2020.
So 80 years ago, what transpired to lead to this point? You know what I'm saying?
It was 1941, which was the inauguration of the first third-term president, and World War II. Okay,
which led
to a huge economic change and huge shift from a mostly agricultural society to a mass industrial society.
And led to the creation of Israel as a state.
And the baby boomers.
Yes.
Okay, and the baby boomers basically have owned the last 80 years is what they've predicted. So they're predicting that the next 80 years are going to be owned by the millennials. Or at least started by the millennials. So they
hopefully not finished by the millennials.
Right. They predict that the big change is going to be bad for conservatism and good for progressivism. And in fact, we are facing that this election cycle. You can see what's playing out here is that the progressives are doing anything and everything to heighten their move to the left, make it more dramatic, more imperative, more of the moment. What was it Al Sharpton was saying yesterday? Today is Friday, June the 5th. Yesterday at the funeral for George Floyd, Sharpton was chiding the president because he held the Bible up and stuff. He said, you need to check out Ecclesiastes in the Bible where it says, for everything there's a time and a season. Well, this is the time and this is the season for big change. And then he's right. If we're not due for big changes, we're going through them anyway.
I just hate it, Chris, when far left lunatics quote the Bible. But go ahead.
But sometimes squirrel, even blind squirrel finds a nut, right?
Exactly.
So you got to find, you got to go with it wherever wisdom or truth or whatever comes, and it did fit the moment.
Yes.
And they see that this is a moment of huge change. The left is pushing for huge change. And here's
symbolism is what I had in my notes. This is going to be used as a symbolism on why we need to do reforms and why we need to make structural changes. It's not about the man anymore. It's a symbol of what's to happen.
And I think once again, Sharpton found another nut. He drew a clear metaphor. That this is all about, huge swaths of our society having a knee on their neck ever since the start of the country.
Heard that part.
The original sin of the country and all that. So they're obviously angling for major changes. And something is going to happen. That major change is going to be determined on November the 3rd of this year. Because either the country is going to break hard to the left, as these guys predict and as the, left wants, or it's going to break back hard to the right as people see what the left really represents now, where the left really wants to go with this country, okay, which is a huge step towards lawlessness and anarchy, right? And so we are due for a huge change. The only question is, what is it going to be? What direction is it going to go? And that's why everybody has to be motivated. You have got to get out. You have got to not just vote, not just educate yourself. You've got to educate others. You have got to see that other people vote. You have got to support financially as you can the candidates that you are really a believer in, and including the president. This is no time to say, oh, yeah, it's another big election. This is it. For the next 80 years, what we do this summer and November the 3rd is going to determine which direction this country goes for 80 years. Are we going to go the direction of socialism? Or are we going to go the direction back towards free markets? And this is going to be, so either the Democrats are going to take a shellacking or the Republicans are. Okay? And that is going to set the tone for a generation. So this is it right now. Time to get motivated.
Well, what gets you motivated on the left right now is signs that say defund the police, people bending the knee, people kissing the feet, people buying into false narratives to make a movement.
Okay.
The narrative has been set by a criminal element that has been glorified.
I want to talk about that when we come back.
We should talk about that when we come back, because there's a stark difference between what you say when you talk about people on the right and people on the left want right now.
What you see happening on the left is a cult of socialism. And I'll tell you what we mean when we get back.
All right. Join us on the Buff Show Part 3 this weekend with Chris and I as we break down that particular topic. We're broadcasting from the appealslawgroup.com. There's a lot of lawlessness going on out there, but if you do get nabbed, these are the guys to call for your appeal. appealslawgroup.com. And of course, visit americanadversaries.com for weekly show information. We'll see you for Part 3. You stay smart out there.